Healing our relationships may be the most important subject of this age, as we all have to deal with it at some point. So when we look at the three major important relationships, we can come to a greater understanding. We have relationships with the earth we live upon, we have a relationship with people, and we have a relationship with ourselves. So the most broken relationships is, of course, with others. If we look at the earth is responding in a huge emotional way. It does not accept any debris that we as humans put in the oceans, in nature, in everything. And so when it wants to repair itself, it deletes, eliminates, evaporates the old connections that it had to deal with. And so we will have to do the same thing with ourselves from an understanding um, that comes from within in the first place, acknowledging all the issues we had to deal with, and then accepting it, and then stepping up the ladder of taking action and doing the work it needs to take. As we see, the oceans, the earth are, like an explosion running through villages, destructing many things as it is not holding its emotions back any longer. It just rejects density. And that is what we as humans can do as well, though we know everything within and around us is pure energy, is made out of atoms, molecules that attract or either reject each other. And I'm sure most people uh, can remember times like, oh, I had such a great conversation, such a great connection, and I loved it. And it was on an equilateral platter, like the brain and the heart energies would merge, made me so happy. And then not long after that, you get frustrated, you feel the deceit, you feel betrayal, you feel fear, you feel anger. You're not on the same wavelength anymore because energies change all of the time. You're getting to know that person better, and you no longer agree, etc., etc. And so everything that was such a great emotion and sensation turns into negative emotions. I think we all can relate to that, right? And what it actually does is draining your energies inside out. So it's a matter of seeing it, knowing it, accepting it, and from that moment on, we can pull out the strength to delete it once and for all. And there's many techniques, but the highest level technique is high energy, right? If you want to cut down low energies, you apply high energies, and that needs some knowledge. That always goes with universal intelligence and the quickening of elimination procedures that come out for this new Aquarian age. So that is working with codes, that is working with light figurations, that is working with geometric patterns or whatever you fancy, because what you think will work, that is according your belief system. Why? That's also energy attracting energy, and it works like magic. But we need to do it. So I understand there's many people that feel a lot of guilt, a lot of unworthiness, a lot of fear to even do that, fear of being judged, fear of, having the other party not accepting that. But let me tell you this, once you delete it from your glandular construction, from your nervous system is nothing more like when an idea, a conversation, a communication has been put out, that synapses that brings that information to all the other atoms, molecules, cells in the body, and they pick up, so they synapse. And that makes up your energy. Everything you take from the outside world makes up your energy. Anything you delete as an energy from the outside world makes up, you become more and more yourself, and you expand in consciousness, because we know many relationships can be so draining, frustrating. uh, they may get us to a point of anger or sadness or anything of these lower emotions. So that is truly not necessary. Are you getting it? It's not necessary. We can immediately delete, and without any resentment, without negative emotions, without judging. There's no point in judging or even having an opinion, because that also is a negative energy, and so we attract the negative situation. If you start judging, you expand on negative energy instead of starting to do the work. So if your issues are still dealing with fear and judgment and guilt patterns, start deleting those towards that particular person. And if your issues are like recognizing it but not knowing where to start, it is just, I have a meditation out there that deletes all old relationships just in 84 hours, and you can work with it throughout all the incoming years, today, next month, whenever you have something to delete. It is extremely powerful because it cuts it down in the pituitary gland. Then it goes in detail through the vagus nerve. From there on to the rest of your neurological content, so to speak, the neurons need to synapse new information. And when you put that information through the neurons and you delete, evaporate, blow it out, get the fire flames of destruction through that particular person you want out of your life once and for all, there is no way they can ever come back. I've had many clients telling me that works so fast, that is so potent, like that they lose actually pounds of energy. They lose weight, because emotion is weight. So that comes with it. And that are the new techniques working. I work with all universes. I've been trained in by the universes for 20 years now. So, and here the techniques go faster and faster. So you get 2 codes to get back into your strength. There is a code for getting into your strength, because everything that is a broken relationship disempowers your entire energies. So are you getting it? Disempowerment. Don't allow it. There is a wake-up process going on that we need to definitely deal with that and release ourselves in order to become more of your authentic self. And there's many people also, they cut down a relationship, and when that emotion connected to the particular relationship has not been deleted, and that keep on attracting the same relationships in which they just discuss the malfunctioning of relationship. So you keep on cycling and cycling the same emotions and never get out of it, and you move from one relationship into the same, which is not beneficial for your growth, your energy, your joy, your happiness, your whatever. And so cutting down that repetitive cycle, because words and images, they keep on repeating. It's cutting that cycle out, cutting that cycle that's, that circuits through your brain and fires up whenever you have a thought about it. And once these thoughts are being cut out of your brain, then you can start relaxing. Then you can start attracting better vibration that matches the new you, because you will come out of the delete session like a new person making new decisions. And you may write down what kind of connections you will allow in your life that are inspiring, aspiring, that are on the same level, where the heart and the brain connects, where it's interesting, where the communication is intelligent, where you can grow from one day into the other. And that is how it should be. actually. So once you understand that you need to lift your vibration, to cut down that lower vibration, then you're on the greatest highway you can ever imagine. And so everything these days can be done in a meditational space, which is our origin. Actually, we are a walking, talking meditational space, or becoming it through different techniques. So that is actually what I teach for the new ones here. Welcome to my vibe. I'm Charlotte. So, and I teach a lot of online seminars out of the old, once and for all, or there's a very great 15 days online seminar that gets you into light body, not of yesteryear, not of even, a few months ago, because it's in renewal mode every day. That is the true meaning of moving out of the old permanently. You're not allowing it. And so there's a lot of education of becoming your self-master, and self-healing, meaning you break down all the old mental barriers. And when you break down and completely evaporate the old connections from your energy and from your cellular construction, your atoms, then you can no longer attract that energy if you uplift that with new energies every day. And then you attract better jobs like an automatic. You attract better people like an automatic. You attract exactly where your consciousness is at. So the more you lift your consciousness into self-empowerment, into strength, into where you want to be, and you move that equally with your health and with your intentions, your intuition, your imagination, then you have it all rolling. So I understand there's a lot of guilt, especially people dealing with things they've done, mistakes that happened. So maybe listen to my video about guilt and get that to the bottom line. There's no need for guilt for anything, truly. That is just, it's just so much embedded in the educational system when we grow up in schools, in connections with teachers and so much. So that's so old. There's no need to forgive yourself. It's just, it's a matter of deleting, evaporating. Are you getting it? So, there I could say so much, but it's decision time. And also when, we may take a new backpack, leave the old ways, leave home, go and live nearby the oceans, travel wild, but when it's not deleted over here in your brain waves, it will always start coming back, either pictures, either anything. When it's deleted out of the cells, the molecules, it means you will not encounter them ever again, not on social media, not anywhere. So it's also a matter of taking action. Delete the persons immediately from any connection on your cell phone, on your computer, on your social media, wherever you may have connections. That is the first point of action you need to do without any guilt, because you are the only one in charge of yourself. And that is the beauty. I do remember I have something you may benefit from. So I was on social media. It's just a little story. Like I started to connect with somebody in the UK for many years, and we started to have a conversation like 4 or 5, sometimes 6 hours a day. And I brought out a book of all the authentic, frustrational conversations, me explaining what the Ascension movement, the Aquarian age, this first golden age is all about, and how we could move very, very quickly in light body. It's what I train actually. So, and that conversation went in so many deviations, like it's funny to read about it. And so I brought it authentically without cutting out any word in my book format, Between the Moon and the Sun. So if you want to have some fun, that book is available on my website and also on Amazon. I would definitely suggest read that and have some fun and get the truth what relationships can do and how it can lift you up, how it can cut you down. So this is volume 1. I got 2 other volumes. So yeah, you can imagine a few years of potent, energetic information through. I'm a Capricorn, so horns with an Aries, horns, 2 horns meeting up, yabby dabby doo. So yeah, you can read about it. And so the question is, many times, or oftentimes, I can see that the subject of this age, as it is relationships, especially as we are developing the relationship with ourselves in order to have a better relationships with the outside world, and what we see, how the earth is not accepting the old emotions anymore, then we can come into an opening. Is that love, or are most relationships just convenience? That is a huge question. So, understanding that everything is just a process, that may be alarming for some people. And as always, from understanding comes relief, and from relief and release, we can move into a disease-free embodiment. Because if we don't release these old relationships, then we may get so frustrated, our energy cuts down, and that, that attracts more negative energies than ever before. So relationship have that intrinsic factor that comes down to self-love in the first place. How much do you love yourself, to get to the bottom line? And you take it down to friendships. So we oftentimes have many, many hidden features, actually. These hidden features that want to hold everything together, that want to hold on the happy times, although they're gone. And that is, that means that we are going to break ourselves a little bit more than enjoying the friendship in this Aquarian age, which is actually the first golden age in any evolution. It's all about communication and deeper truths, incorporating your own truth, and that takes some time, that needs some understanding. So it's imperative you give yourself a lot more understanding. So oftentimes we do not tell it like it is because of the fear of losing somebody, and also we are also not on the same path to embrace truth on any level. Some would like to keep hiding, and some are really, really tired of that and do a whole lot of work to move out of the falseness, the arrogance, the comfort zone, and manipulative conversation at times to upgrade into the light they truly are. So for other parties, that may appear to be hard, or a hard approach, or they started to see the deeper levels of what kept them into a friendship or a relationship, which appears to be convenience. And convenience to fill up empty spaces, convenience to get through hard times, convenience to express many angers, fears, injustices, and sadness one experiences with society, even through the bottom layers that are proof of what we have to send out to create. And all we wish for is actually certain friendship, some kind of solace, some kind of relief to see things from a different perspective, and just somebody who understands us, agrees with us, or with what we have to say. But when that big but button, right? That big, big but button, that is something we truly need to understand. Because when that particular person, that particular energy, that particular molecule in our energy field does not agree with us any longer, The friendship rather breaks us because the confrontation with a deeper level of self-truth through that person becomes unacceptable even if done in such a loving way that may hurt a lot. But when understanding that you and that particular friend are no longer on the same timeline or on the same page, meaning one of you upgraded and is willing to see truth within and breaking free from what no longer serves you, half the healing has already begun, because you see it, you feel it, and you know it. So you can begin to close in on yourself or become a hermit, because sometimes they think there's something wrong with them when losing so many friendships. So never think there's anything wrong with you. You are beautiful as it is, and you just respect your beauty, your artistic vibration. We are all artists, right? We create our life, and so you make new choices. And it is only the transition from old friendships into the new ones that takes a little rest, it takes a little reflection. But ensure yourself that you are on the right path. And that is the only worthy insurance card you could bring through. You insure yourself. The best way to do this is to refrain from judging or not even having an opinion and saying, okay, that was that, I handled it well, let me see how I can embrace the new wonders coming into my life. Because that is what we all want. We want to embrace wonders. We want to have joy, experience joy, being happy and exchanging on the same level. And so we need to wish goodbye on every level, without judgment, without opinion, because in the end, we were involved as well. So if we judge essentially ourselves, all right? So be grateful, for it means you have accepted that you had to leave what keeps you from moving forward. And that is the first big step, because if you can do it with one person, the others will be easier, because in the end they will keep you in a confused and dense environment, a negative space filled with your negative molecules and energy fields. When it is time to leave certain relationships, and we actually know that, right? We know that something is not okay with what we accepted. So it does not mean you love them less, although they often see it that way. And you should not be concerned about that, for in the end, truth is truth, and it will be known. It simply means your brain is ready to clear that space and invite those who actually are there to move on the same path forward with you, and thus you open a space in which you can connect with better people that better match your molecules, your beautiful cells. So it does mean you get to know thyself better. You know the expression, know thyself. Although it's a lifetime of work, make it a beautiful journey. And that is what we need to understand, because there is absolutely no reason to step into obsessions, fears, guilt, shame, or any lower emotion. It always comes down to our responsibility to stay in balance and giving to self first, and see how your true essence will respond, sending energy back to sender, closing off that door, opening up new doors and protecting your energy field. So somehow, on some level, we need to prepare for such a paparazzi. Because many people are trying to reconnect with their original essence and bump into wonderful bonds with mass consciousness. refer to as soulmates, soul family, soul bonds, anything soul. And yes, of course, there is that bond from former lifetimes and even remembrance of what you were, what you experienced back then. But think about the but button. Many times these connections also have to be eliminated for you to move forward, as they are tied to many lifetimes in soul consciousness, and this Aquarian age is all about moving out of the soul straight into spirit consciousness, where you get your liberation and your freedom. So these connections come in as a test for you to understand where you are at and to remember certain potential gifts you had forgotten about, and maybe remember things you need at this particular time in your life. So people oftentimes agree to an intimate relationship with such a soulmate and get deeply disappointed because there is the consciousness of expectation. I think most amongst us know that consciousness, expectation. Let me know in the comments what you think of it, or let me know how you see your relationships today, what you struggle with, what you find difficult to leave. Let me know in the comments. And you know, it's so interesting that we can bond on YouTube and create a community where you feel supported. That is actually my goal. So thank you for being with me and subscribing to my channel. Very grateful for that. So once we see that we need to even release expectation, that is perfectly fine, because you know, we need to do the hard work to move forward, eliminate all the pins and needles from our mind control or birding, or the birding into soul, which is actually ego, and every hassle that comes around the corner to assist you to keep the self off track or in the mind. So if you truly would like to remember your original self according to ancient times, it would be imperative to reconnect to the ancient of days and the knowledge of how to do that in order to understand the present of days, or your current energy field, your cells, your memory, your gifts, your talents. And in other words, this was your spirit self. So, and then we were all drawn into the soul or the ego self, and we all had to deal with that, or we have to deal with that. We have to eliminate day by day, space by space. We become better and better, and we enjoy ourselves more and more, because there's no enjoyment truly in ego consciousness, is there really? So climbing the ladders back into spirit self, which is a consciousness that does not allow the breaking of energies, the negative fields, so to speak. So today, however, there is many valuable information and alignments to assist your path on the devotional time back into your true authentic self. And that is the movement we actually experiencing, many people moving out of the matrix into the crystalline field of consciousness that are embedded all over the earth for you to partake of, and matching your energy field with the crystalline grid's energy field, meaning your light parts merge with the highest level of consciousness, opens up your intelligence and knowledge. That is what the training into the eternal self-healer and self-mastery teaches, actually. All the information in the description. But not everybody wants to go the way, so we can choose which way to move, and to move in an environment in which we can bond with spirits that better match our energy fields. So our brain waves always would have brought you through spiritual techniques, and it is spirits and techniques actually that rewire patterns all the way into the 6th and 7th dimension, and setting on the road of deeper eternal workout plans. So it is certainly not easy to leave somebody when you are in love. But the lesson here is to really connect to your source, realign to your authentic self, and learn about the love for humanity, and learning about how to detect what is best for you. For your broken wings are really the worst torture one can ever have or experience. No more broken wings. I hope this gives a better clarity. And do not forget, each individual has unique experiences and need to make unique choices. So clearing the fabric of emotional abuse takes time. That's all you need to understand. Give yourself that time, understand yourself. In order to break all the barriers and break free onto the other side of time or the other side of midnight. So I think we all have done our time on earth. It is time to mutate, to claim our freedom, and ask the celestial and universal bus drivers to pick it up and further the cleaning process in order for us to finally drive home. I truly hope this information helps you. If you prefer some help with a meditation alignment, clearing relationships is in the description. If you have severe issues to deal with, I do individual sessions as well, in which I clear that once and for all. That's an 84-hour process I bring people through with massive results, and you get a support MP3 with that as well, in order to keep uplifting your energy and keep deleting any possible connection, relationship that may be of abuse to your precious energy field. Thank you so much for being with me, subscribing, appreciating, and definitely comment. Let me know how you feel about it. Okay? See you next time. Thank you.